Alright, nandito ulit tayo, no? So, nandito tayo sa panabago nating lesson. It's all about the plant diversity. Yan, no? So, sa mga halaman, no? Alam naman natin, kung nakakita tayo ng maraming hayop, nakakita din tayo ng marami din mga halaman sa ating mga paligid. And then, meron tayong dalawang grupo ng mga plants, no? And then, meron tayong dalawang big groups, no? Those which do not have tissues to transport water and food, which is the non-vascular, at saka yung those that have this transport system, which is the vascular plants. So, in terms of non-vascular plants, ito muna unahin ko. So, non-vascular plants includes mosses, hornworts, and liverworts. Kasama na rin natin dito yung ibang mga algae. They are generally small plants, limited in size, but by poor transport methods of water, gases, and other compounds. They reproduce via spores rather than seeds and do not produce flowers, fruit, or wood. Liverworts, mosses, and hornworts are non-vascular plants. They are attached to the places where they live by means of their root-like rhizoids. No? These rhizoids absorb water and nutrients instead of through roots. They also do not have true stems and leaves, so they grow very close to damp grounds, stone walls, or tree trunks. So, yan po yung mga examples ng non-vascular plants. Na-mention ko na rin po dyan yung example. So, next po, sa mga vascular plants, also known as tracheophytes, form a large group of plants that are defined as those land plants that have lignified tissues or the xylem for conducting water and minerals throughout the plants. No? So, they also have a specialized non-lignified tissue or the phloems to conduct products or photosynthesis. Actually, ito lang yung basic, no? Xylem at saka phloem. But if you want to study out the concept of botany or plant physiology or some other related kinds of plant stuff, hindi lang xylem at phloem na meron siyang taglay. Meron din siyang cambium, yun. Nasa gitna siya ng phloem at saka xylem, I think. So, vascular plants includes the club mosses, horsetails, ferns, gymnosperms, including conifers and angiosperms, which are the flowering plants. So, botanists define vascular plants by three primary characteristics. So, they have vascular tissues which distribute resources through the plant. Next po, two kinds of vascular tissue occur in plants, which are the xylem and phloem. And then, phloem and xylem are closely associated with one another and are typically located immediately adjacent to each other in the plant. So, the combination of one xylem and one phloem strand adjacent to each other is known as a vascular bundle. So, the evolution of vascular tissue in plants allow them to evolve to larger size than non-vascular plants which lack these specialized conducting tissues and are thereby restricted to relatively small sizes only. So, in vascular plants, the principal generation phase is the sporophyte, which produces spores and is diploid. No? Alam naman natin yung pinagkaiba ng haploid at saka diploid, diba? Balik tayo sa previous lesson natin sa cell reproduction. So, vascular plants have true roots, leaves, and stems, even if some groups have secondarily lost one or more of these traits. No? Base sa nakikita natin. So, ayan. Yan po yung mga example ng mga vascular plants. Ito pa po. So, yan po. So, seed plants consist of those which bear seeds contained in cones and those inside the protective layer of tissue. Examples of gymnosperms are the conifers, cycads, ginkgos, and gnatophytes. Many conifers like pine trees grow in cold countries and in elevated places in warmer climates. There are woody trees and have tough needle-like leaves. And then cycads are short palm-like plant growing in tropical and subtropical areas. Sa Pilipinas, they are seen in well-landscaped hotels and parks. Gnatophytes are represented by welwitschia, which can be found in Namibia, southwestern Africa. So, gymnosperms are sources of quality wood for making plywood and furniture. They also supply pulp to paper-producing factories. No? So, other species provide resin used in making perfume and varnishes. Pine cones are popular Christmas decoration items. So, ayan po yung mga Gymnosperms na yan, which is na-mention ko na rin po dun sa kabilang slide at yun po rin yung kanilang mga particular example, no? And yung Angiosperm, so you are most familiar with members of this group as you may have played with their flowers even at an early age, no? So they are also called flowering plants since flowers as well as fruits are involved in their reproduction and development. So angiosperm can be classified according sa kanilang lifespan. It's either annual, biennial, and then perennial. So mauna mo na yung annual, no, na namumuhay lang siya sa isang taon or one growing season and die like rice and corn. So biennials, no, they develop roots, stems, and leaves during the first year, produce seeds on the second year, then die. And then yung perennials naman live for many years, usually producing woody stems like chichirica, bamboo, and trees. So leaves of angiosperms also differ in their arrangement in the stem base sa nakita nyo dyan. So ayan po yun. So additional, so flowering plants are also classified as to the number of cotyledons present in their seeds. Monocotyledons or monocots have only one cotyledon present, while dicotyledon or dicots have two. Coconut and grasses are examples of monocots. Gumamela and mango are dicots. No? So additional lang po yung cotyledon na minention ko po kanina. Ito po yung first pair of leaves produced by the embryo of the seed plants. So ayan po yung pinagkaiba po ng monocot and dicot according to the cotyledon, leaf venation, cross-section of stem, and then flower plant. No? Actually parang 5 or 6 yata yung comparison yan. Kulang pa po yun. Pero yun nga po, na ano naman. According to its roots naman, actually ito yung panlima. Sa monocot, ma-determine natin na ang kanyang root is fibrous root, and then yung top root naman is yung mga dicot. Ayan. So, balik tayo ulit, no? So, sa angiosperm ulit can also be differentiated by means of their flower parts. A flower may have both petals and sepals, or may have sepals or petals only. Others have stamens, petals, and sepals attached to the ovary. Some have their petals separated, others are united. Angiosperms of importance worth mentioning are Filipinos' staple food. Rice for most of us, corn in some areas, vegetables like kamote tops, malunggay, cabbage, carrots, saluyot, and then yung squash. Many of our agricultural products, both fresh and processed, are exported. Examples of banana na galing sa Davao, mango from Guimaras, coffee from various provinces, pineapple from Bukidnon, and tobacco from the provinces in northern Luzon. Furniture made from rattan, no, are also sold to various countries abroad. So sugarcane from different provinces is also another grown for export. Many angiosperms have been developed to prevent and cure some diseases. Lagundi, Sambong, Ampalaya, and Banaba, to name a few, are not commercially available for specific ailments, no. Pero kung meron kang mga pinagdadaan ng mga sakit din, makapagkonsulta ka muna sa mga physicians, no. Even though some of our mga kamag-anak din, they recommending din na mag-take muna din ng mga ganito, na mga ganyang mga lagundi, sambong. Actually, they're effective naman din talaga, pero kailangan din natin makipag-consult din as soon as possible sa mga physicians, no, kasi sila yung mas eksperto sa mga ganong klaseng bagay. 'Di ba? Mahirap naman na kung puro lang tayo, kung talagang lumala siya ng mga ilang sabihin natin mga linggo, 'di ba? Just like yung ating pag-ubo, 'di ba? Kumbaga makipag-consult tayo sa mga doctors or mga physicians, no? Kasi sila nakakaalam kung ano yung mga appropriate prescriptions na dapat nating na prescriptions na kanilang isusulat, no, or ibibigay din sa iyo, no? And then in terms of harmful plants, no, some plants can be harmful to animals, humans, and even to other plants. Care must be taken that cows or other livestock should not graze in areas where sorghum grows, no. It is known to cause cyanide poisoning in livestock as young leaves contain poisonous substances. Just like yung Jatropha, curcas or tuba-tuba or tubang bakod is popular due to its being an alternative source of biofuel. Although known to have a medicinal property, yung mga seeds niya is poisonous. The fruits, which are usually eaten by children, cause stomach pain, burning sensation in the throat, and vomiting or pagsusuka. So maniyot, esculenta, or mga cassava, if boiled with its bark on it, can be poisonous. The bark contains hydrocyanic acid. It is advised that during cooking, the pot cover should be removed to the cyanogas to escape. A word of caution, do not eat any part of a plant which you are not familiar with. And then, I think this is the last, yung Echinocloa crossgali or dawa-dawa, and Digitaria sanguinalis, which means saka-saka, are which are alternative hosts to abaca and corn mosaic viruses. Po. So, ayan po siya. So, mapunta na tayo sa division ng mga plants. Kumbaga sa kabila, sa animal diversity, we're talking about their phylum. Dito naman ang kanilang division. But according to its level, parehas lang po sila. Magkaiba lang ng tawag. Pero hindi appropriate na tawagin mong phylum ang plants at yung division ang mga animals. Mali po yun. Simulan muna natin sa Bryophyta. So, they have no vascular tissues. And then they grow in moist environment and they need water to disperse pores for reproduction. Gametophyte stage is dominant rather than sporophyte stage. Example ng Bryophyta are mosses, hornworts, and then liverworts. So ayan ang itsura ng Bryophytes or Bryophyta or division Bryophyta. Next po, Coelophyta. They have true stems but no true leaves and roots. They exhibit roots-like stems called rhizomes and anchorage. Example of these are the whisk fern. Then Lycopodiophyta, they are commonly called ground pines or club mosses. They exhibit bushy tree-like branches above but unbranched at the base. Example of this is the Lycopodium. Yan yung Lycopodiophyta. Then Spinophyta, also known as scoring rushes or horsetail, and then they exhibit hollow jointed stem that contains silica, and then example of this is horsetail. Then Pterophyta, they're a group of true ferns. It has a true roots and leaves or fronds. Medyo pumiyak ako sa part na yun. So Sporophytes is the dominant stage, and then example of Pterophyta is yung mga ferns. Yan po. And then next po, Cycadophyta. They produces large cones and has palm-like leaves. Base sa nakikita nyo. And they are Gymnosperms. Example of this is yung sago palm or Cycas revoluta. And then Coniferophyta, they're the largest group of Gymnosperm. They exhibit the naked seeds in cones and they are non-flowering plant. Example are the common pine trees, spruces, firs, and larches. So, yun po yung mga limbawa niya. And then, this is the last one, Anthophyta. They're the group of flowering plants. It's either monocot or dicot. So, flower develops into fruits. And then, gametophyte is reduced and within the flower. And then, the example of this is yung literally mga flowering plants. But, yung binigay ko example is yung mga gumamela and then mga roses. Kasi, di tayo mas familiar. And then, dito na po nagtatapos yung lesson ko about sa plant diversity. Abang-abang na lang kayo sa remaining 2 lessons natin. It's all about the food chain, food web, and then energy pyramid, and then yung last one is yung biogeochemical processes. So, abang-abang na lang po sa mga susunod na upload. And then, yun nga po, if ever pa na may clarifications kayo, leave a comment below. And then, that's all for today. Goodbye. See you next time.